picnic by the pond. I'm making all kinds of portable food, including lemon bars for dessert. So I'm going to start with 2 sticks of butter, half a cup of sugar. Why do all my recipes start with 2 sticks of butter? It's for a party, though. I'm just going to cream those together. And then with the mixer on low, add 2 cups of flour. And an 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. Great. This is really a shortbread dough. It's so much easier to make. It doesn't require a rolling pin. I'm just going to pat it right into the pan. Okay. Put it right into a 9 by 12 pan. Don't even have to grease the pan because there's butter in the dough. I'm just going to flour my hands and press this out. I'm going to chill it for about 15 minutes, and then later on I'm going to make a wonderful lemon curd filling and pour it on top of the baked dough, and then cut them out in squares for my party. Okay, just chill for 15 minutes. I'm just going to dust them with a little bit of powdered sugar. These are so lemony. I can't wait for dessert. And I've cut 12 of them in this pan. It's always the first one that's hard to get out. Got it. Okay, we'll wrap it in parchment paper. I know I have a reputation for starting every recipe with a pound of butter, but this one's actually a lemon cake that's made with yogurt and vegetable oil, so it's even good for you, and it's delicious. So I'm going to start with the dry ingredients. 1 1/2 cups of flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Just sift those together. Okay, I need 1 cup of yogurt. I use whole milk yogurt. I think it gives a good flavor. Okay, 1 cup of sugar. You can make it without butter, but not without sugar. Okay, 3 extra large eggs. I always break them into another bowl just in case you get a bad egg. I always use room temperature eggs when I'm baking. Really makes the cakes lighter. 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Two teaspoons of lemon zest. That's actually about the zest of 1 lemon. Just right into the bowl. This is what gives it all its flavor. I actually think the zest has more flavor than the juice, so whenever I make something with lemon, I always put the zest in. Smells good already. And then later I'm going to use the juice and make a syrup, a lemon syrup for it. That's about 2 teaspoons. Okay, I'm just going to whisk it all together. The idea for this recipe actually came from a recipe I saw that my friend Dory Greenspan wrote for yogurt cake, and I thought, wouldn't it be interesting to see if I can adapt my lemon cake into a lemon yogurt cake? It worked beautifully. Okay, I'm just going to take the dry ingredients, whisk them in. I'm just going to toss them with my hand, make sure they're well mixed, and just slowly whisk them in. You want to whisk them just enough until it's stirred, but not overmix it. I love that you can make this without a mixer. Okay, next thing I need is a 1/2 cup of vegetable oil. It's a flavorless oil. to stir it in. So it's always so interesting to have two people come for lunch that I've never met before. I wonder what Doug and Paige Campbell are going to be like. Okay, into the pan. I've greased and floured a loaf pan. Just pour this right in. That was a pretty easy cake, wasn't it? Perfect. Into the oven, 350 degrees for about 50 minutes, and then I'm going to drizzle it with the lemon glaze.
Honey, are you ready? It's time to go to Ina's.
So the lemon yogurt cake is out of the oven, and while it cools, I'm going to make a lemon syrup, just pour over it, make it even better. So I need 1/3 cup of lemon juice. Need a little more. It's about 1½ lemons. Perfect. I'm just gonna heat it up with 1/3 cup of sugar. I'm just going to let that come to a boil until it becomes just very clear. Take a few minutes. I'm going to see if I can get my cake out of the pan. So this cake has lemon zest in it. There's lemon juice on it. And if that's not enough, I'm going to make a blueberry sauce for it. Came out perfectly. I'm just going to cook this until it becomes clear, until the sugar dissolves. You know, these guys spent a lot of money for this lunch. I hope it's good enough for them. Okay, this is perfect. Sugar's dissolved. And I'm just going to spoon it right over the cake. And then what it does is it just soaks right into the cake, keeps it really moist. It has lots of great lemon flavor. I have to admit, I'll take lemon over chocolate any day. So this is good just the way it is, but with a fresh blueberry sauce, it's going to be even better. Lemon yogurt cake on its own is just fine, but since these guests are really special, I'm going to make a blueberry sauce for the cake. We'll make it into a whole dessert. So the first thing I'm going to do is take 3 half pints of fresh blueberries. Then I'm going to put vanilla sugar in it. And what it is sugar that I've immersed vanilla beans in. You can buy it in the store or you can make it yourself. After I take the seeds out of the vanilla beans, I just put the pods right in here, and it smells absolutely amazing. I love this. I've had this jar, I think, for 20 years. I just keep adding vanilla and sugar to it. So I need 1½ cups of vanilla sugar. That's 1 cup. And another half. Try and get it into the cup, not on the counter. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, plus 1/3 cup of water. I'm just going to cook this together, bring it to a simmer for about 15 minutes. And then later I'm going to add some fresh lemon juice. So the sauce is reduced. It's so nice and thick. It's amazing. Berries and vanilla sugar, you can really smell it. It smells wonderful. Now what I'm going to do is just strain it. And all it is really is blueberries and sugar and vanilla. And if you press the berries through the sieve, end up with a really nice thick sauce. And you get to use all the blueberry. You'll see, you can see some right there. I'm going to add a little bit of lemon juice to it. I just think a little bit of acidity sort of cuts the sugar. A little bit of lemon juice in it. Just a touch of lemon juice, about a ½ tablespoon. Just really gives the sauce more depth of flavor. And that's it. You can really smell the fresh blueberries and vanilla sugar, a little bit of lemon juice. I'm just gonna let that cool. That's gonna be delicious on the lemon yogurt cake. And dessert's ready.
Delicious.
Thank you.
Is there a glaze on top of the cake?
It's actually fresh lemon juice glaze. It's a little bit of sugar and lemon juice cooked together. And it's what keeps the cake so moist.
It's nice because it's not too overwhelming with lemon. It's just the right amount.
Thank you. I'm making limoncello ricotta cheesecake squares. Okay, so that's 15 graham crackers. I'm just gonna make crumbs. You can actually buy them already ground, but I just prefer to grind them myself. Okay, into the bowl. I actually like this. Instead of having a big, thick wedge of cheesecake, this is like a light cheesecake, and you get a little square, and it's just perfect. So, 1 stick of butter melted. This is really just a classic graham cracker crust. And 2 tablespoons of sugar. Okay, I'm just gonna mix that together. And ricotta gives it real body. It's wonderful. And lemon makes it lighter. Really delicious cheesecake. Okay, that's nicely mixed. I'm just gonna put it in a 9 by 13 pan. Just dump the whole thing in. Just spread it out. I just want a little bit of an edge on it. And you don't want to press it too hard, just lightly. And this is my trick for making a little bit of an edge. Take a metal cup and just press it down lightly. And that way you end up with an edge, but not too much of a thick crust right in the corner. It doesn't have to be perfect. It smells good already. I think it's all the butter. Okay, this is gonna bake 350 degrees for 8 minutes, and then I'm gonna let it cool. So I'm making the ricotta filling. I've got 1 pound of cream cheese and 1 1/4 cups of sugar, and I'm putting in 1 1/2 cups of ricotta. The ricotta really gives it great flavor. You want all the ingredients to be room temperature, so it stays really nice and light. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna put in is limoncello, which is gonna give it great flavor. It's really Southern Italian liqueur. I'm gonna use a 1/2 cup, which is a lot. See if I can put this in without wearing it. Just mix it in slowly. Next thing is vanilla, 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And a tablespoon of lemon zest. Perfect, right in. And the last thing is 5 eggs. Just put them in slowly so they mix in well. And that's the filling. Okay, it's perfectly mixed. Now I'll show you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a water bath for this. So big pan, put the crust right in, make sure it's really flat, and I'm gonna just pour the filling into it. The thing about the water bath is it keeps it from cracking, so it'll be really nice. Keeps the oven moist. I'm just gonna pour the whole filling right in. With all the, I can smell the lemon and the limoncello and the ricotta, a little vanilla. It's gonna be delicious. Just pour that in. Now I'm gonna get some really hot tap water. People think that you need boiling water for this, but I just use hot tap water. It's going into the oven, it's gonna get hot. And you want it to come maybe halfway up the side of the pan. Okay, I'm gonna bake this 350 degrees for about 50 to 55 minutes. And then what I'm gonna do is turn off the oven, let it sit for about 15 minutes so it doesn't crack. And then I'm gonna cool it. And in order to cut it, I like to chill it so you get really good squares. Can I scoot by with my lemon squares? No dessert before pizza.
So I'm gonna have you turn your pizza here.
I'm just gonna put a little lemon zest on my limoncello cheesecake squares. Limoncello ricotta cheesecake squares.
So good.
Is that good? Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, Jeffrey.
That's the best dessert I've ever had.
Lemon mousse is one of my favorite desserts. Unfortunately, it's one of Frank's too. So I'm gonna make Frank and Steven. And now I'm gonna make the base of the lemon mousse. So the first thing I need is 3 whole eggs. And then I'm going to separate 3 eggs. I'm going to put the yolks in the base and whip the egg whites to make it nice and light and fluffy. Okay, next I need a cup of sugar. And lots of lemon zest, 2 teaspoons. Half a cup of freshly squeezed lemon juice. I'm just going to whisk it all together. A little salt. And I'm going to put this over a double boiler and just cook it until it thickens. So the first thing I need is half of the egg whites, 2 tablespoons of sugar, just to sweeten it a little bit, pinch of salt, and just whip those on high. I'm going to get the cream and I'm going to get the base for my lemon mousse. Just done. So I'm just going to take this plastic wrap off the base. So you make a really thick custard, and then you lighten it by folding in egg whites and whipped cream. And that's how you make a mousse. And this is the thing about folding, is you just want to put it on top and then fold it in slowly. You want to do nothing that will deflate the egg whites. Put the spatula down in the middle and then just fold it over really carefully. You can really smell the lemon zest in this. So now I'm going to whip some cream, make it even lighter. Hard to imagine cream is light. Okay, 1 cup of cream. And you can just do it in the same bowl. So I've whipped the cream. I'm just going to pour it on top and fold it in. This is so many layers of things, but the good news is you can make it in advance and let it sit in the refrigerator for a long time. Just want to fold it in really carefully, just like the egg whites. Make sure you don't deflate them. Okay, and then I'm going to give it extra special flavor. I'm going to put in half a cup of lemon curd. Gives it a real lemon bite. It's about half a jar. And then fold that in. Again, carefully, but not too much. But this is really good. So good. So lemony. You can really taste the zest and the lemon curd, and yet it's really still very light. So you can really do a lemon mousse just like this, but I'm going to make it extra special and decorate with cream and lemon slices. One of my favorite treats to bring is lemon poppy seed cake, which is what I'm making now. And I make it in this bun pan. Okay, that's the pan. Now the batter. So I started with 2 sticks of butter, it's a half a pound, and 2 cups of granulated sugar. Butter has to be room temperature so it really gets light and fluffy. And I've mixed it for about 2 to 3 minutes, and it's just about done. So next is eggs. I've got 4 room temperature eggs, and I do it 1 egg at a time. 1 teaspoon of good vanilla. And 1/3 cup of lemon zest. It's a lot, but it is lemon poppy seed cake after all. Okay, now I'm ready for the wet ingredients and the dry ingredients, and I'll show you how I combine them. I started on the wet mix a couple of hours ago. I poured a cup of buttermilk into a liquid measuring cup, added 1/3 cup of poppy seeds, and stirred them together. I set the mixture aside for 2 hours to allow the poppy seeds to soften. Then when the time was up, I added 1/4 cup of freshly squeezed lemon juice and mixed it in. For the dry mix, I measured out 2 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour and put it into a sieve set over a bowl. Then added 1/4 cup of cornstarch, teaspoon of kosher salt, half a teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of baking soda, and sifted them all together. So at this point, I'm going to turn down the mixer to its lowest stir. And starting with the dry ingredients, I'm just going to slowly add them in thirds. First the dry ingredients, then the wet ingredients. And just let it mix in until it's just done. Don't want to overmix once the flour's in. And then I always turn it off and actually use the spatula to just fold it in and make sure it's really well mixed. Okay, that's perfectly mixed. So now into the bun pan. This cake's great because you can make it, you can keep it in the refrigerator. always serve it at room temperature, but it'll hold in the refrigerator for about a week, or you can freeze it. Freeze it really well. And just take your spatula and smooth the top. Make sure it's even. Okay, into the oven, 350 degrees for 45 minutes, till a toothpick comes out clean. Okay, how good does that look? Okay, I'm gonna let this sit for about 10 minutes. If you turn out a hot cake, sometimes it can break and you don't wanna do it. No point in going through all that trouble. So in the meantime, I'm gonna make lemon drizzle to pour over the cake. I've got half a cup of fresh lemon juice and a half a cup of sugar, granulated sugar. I'm just gonna cook it just enough so that the sugar dissolves. Okay, this is done. I'm just gonna turn it off. So the cake is cooled for about 10 minutes. You can actually see it just pulls away from the pan a little bit. So normally you just dump it out like that, but I always worry about it breaking. Don't want a broken cake. So I'm gonna take the rack and just turn it over like that. And if you're lucky, and if you grease the pan properly, it'll come out. And there it is. That looks great. So now I'm gonna take the drizzle to pour over the cake. And you don't wanna dump it on it. You just wanna sort of slowly run it around so that it absorbs it, just like that. And I did it over a baking pan so that it didn't run all over the kitchen. It just runs into the pan. Because too much is never enough, I'm gonna make a glaze to put on the cake. So I need a cup of confectioner sugar and a few tablespoons of fresh lemon juice, maybe about 1.5, but I'm gonna do it slowly. I'm looking for something that's like a very thick but pourable glaze. Let it just run down the sides, just like that.